All right, welcome everybody to the sixth week of Team Wars, and I have with me today Sibon.
Hello.
So you're the captain of Juvy's disciples, isn't it?
I am indeed.
So maybe you can share a bit more about who you are and what is your team.
I don't actually have the most magma ribbons anymore. That title belongs to Anarchy, but I almost have the most magma ribbons. I used to be a developer for the game. I'm not a developer for the game anymore. I'm the captain of Juvy's Disciples, who I had higher hopes for. We've struggled a bit towards the start of the season. We lost 3 games in a row, but we're bringing it back. We're going to hopefully make it to 3-3 this week. And yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, I would like to put you guys as the favorites to make it to the playoffs, but it apparently has been pretty rough season thus
Yeah,
far.
we had some. I don't think we even played bad in the first 3 weeks. We just got really, really unlucky.
Well, that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So you were also a developer for the game, so how did that work out?
Sorry.
So you were also a developer for the game.
Oh yeah. I was a developer for the game, not for the first 2 expansions, but for all of the expansions after those. And it was a rocky journey, but it was definitely a good experience. And I let a lot of weird stuff into the game, but I also added some cool stuff into the game, and I stopped a hell of a lot more weird and crazy stuff appearing than I, let in. So you don't see the whole picture if you don't if you're not a developer, and but no, it was a good time, and I loved working on Duelyst. I just hope there's another balance patch or another expansion eventually, because
Yeah,
I'm I'd like not have to ban these cards every tournament.
yeah, that's. I'm kind of hoping there will be, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think like a duelist is at its core it's a very solid game, so it must have been a pretty interesting experience to develop cards for it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the bans, how do you feel about the bans? Do you think they are fair?
I think they're fair. Yeah, I would add cards. Like I would add Owl Beast, definitely. Um, I think Fault is definitely a justified ban. I'd probably add all of the trials, to be honest. Trials were an interesting idea, but we didn't have the time to really, I guess, play with them enough to just kind of see how it would, like how consistent singleton decks really were.
Yeah, I remember like when
The Lionel trial started out as overtuned. It's still good, but it's yeah. So I'd prefer like if all of the trials were banned plus Owl Beast. But in terms of these bans, I think they're all good. I was hesitant about Lava Lance not being banned, but I think the Zoetic ban is a really good to go in place of the Lava Lance ban, and it makes eggs playable but not like broken.
yeah, yeah. I like the Destiny cards were actually put when the rotation was in play. Wasn't that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we were testing them with the idea that Shimzar cards wouldn't be in the game anymore.
Yeah. So it's and then it became kind of different game afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think we can also show some statistics from this tournament thus far. Excuse excuse the very messy layout, but there probably hasn't been too many changes from the last week, but do you feel that the bans people have been making has been justified, or do you think some cards have slid past?
The Plasma Storm bans truly confuse me. I'm like, I get if you want to do like Trial Lionar, Obelisk, Zerix, and Swarm Abyss or something, then sure ban Plasma, but
Yeah.
9 bans seems incredibly high. Everything else makes sense to me. Except 2 silver bans. That's just kind of funny.
Yeah, personally, I just think like banning Blood of Air and Sandstorm's Reader every week seems kind of excessive, considering that Vitruvian probably isn't the strongest faction in the game right now, without the Fault. But
Yeah, I prefer banning the like just one element of the Golem package, either Metallurgist or Celebrant, because then that hurts Vitruvian, but it also hurts Lionar if you ban Celebrant, or Magmar if you ban Metallurgist.
yeah, I think the Golems are like super flexible in the factions that they're being played in, so just hitting Metallurgist usually cripples a lot of strong decks.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, speaking of the standings, we have the Rock and Rocks did take a loss, but otherwise the top hasn't been. Seems very solidifying, kind of. But
Yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
yeah. Do you think you guys can sweep the rest of the weeks?
I mean, I think we can. I'd give us like good odds to win each week, but winning 3 weeks in a row it's a little bit iffy. So I think we're favored in each of the weeks, but winning 3 in a row is you can't predict that really.
Unless you are Rock and Rocks, apparently. But do you have anything?
I mean, we don't have Rockin'.
True. Or Purse. But do you have anything else to say before we head off to the matches? Any thoughts or considerations you have had during the Team Wars? Like you are a veteran in the Team Wars, right?
Yeah, I've played in every Team Wars since the first one.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's kind of interesting is how bad Magmar's win rate is, just because of the obviously Wanderer gets rid of the best Magmar deck, but also it's really easy to gimp Magmar with Warbeast and like Fortitude or Lance Bands, where it's a really good faction, but it's a really good faction because of very specific cards, and if you ban those out, it just kind of all goes to hell. And I think we've kind of seen that here, where it has the lowest win rate by quite a margin.
That's kind of interesting because Vadar, you would imagine, is like a lot worse faction, but Vadar is still eking out ahead.
And I'm still getting some wins.
Also, Vanna is not getting any bans, which is probably fair, considering.
Yeah, that's... if you could ban Malicious Wisp, I guess 2 people have, but if Malicious Wisp was, like, consistently getting banned, Vanna would plummet, I'd imagine.
But I don't think, like, too many Vanna factions actually run Malicious Wisp, or decks actually
really?
like, rely on that too much. Like, it seems to be that the go-to is more like a Arcanist or like a Wolf.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Control.
So... Maybe Gravity Well is another card that would really hurt Vanna if it wasn't around.
Yeah.
Gravity Well's so good. And then we have Songhai with almost 60% win rate because you can't ban Songhai out.
Yeah, you can ban Juxtaposition, but then there's like Mist Dragon Seals and everything else, so...
Yeah, you can still play Arcanist without Jux, you can still play Ox, you can still play 8 Gates. It's there's like so many good Songhai decks. Even if you could ban 4 cards and they'd still like find a decent deck to play.
Maybe you could just ban all the 3 generals. and then
Yeah,
see what
that's. I don't
happens.
know why people haven't thought of that.
Uh, but since you have actually played in every single Team Wars, like how do you feel the Team Wars have like progressed through the years?
So the first one was actually I believe it was a single elimination bracket format. So there was no round robin, and it was just you entered as a team of 3 people, and each person on your team would pair off against someone on the enemy team, and whichever team won the 2 out of 3 sets would win. And unfortunately, I had been playing the game for about a month at the time, and we lost 1-2 because I was against their Songhai player, and he opened double Tuskboard 2 games in a row, and this was pre-nerf Tuskboard.
Was that during the Bacon meta?
Yeah.
Still single throw, right?
I believe this was 2-draw.
Wow, the best throw.
Mhm.
Yeah, carry on.
Team Wars 2 was when I joined the team with Juvie and some old names that have mostly left the game. There's Crazed, Panda JJ, Amaterasu. There was Mogwai's brother, actually, Chocobo. And the last spot was kind of, we shuffled around a few different people in that spot. But that's the team I've kind of stuck with all the way since Team Wars Season 2 in mid-2016. And it's always been my favorite part of Duelyst, just running through Team Wars, playing with friends, and I've always enjoyed Team Wars more than any other type of tournament, even though I've had much better success in other tournaments than Team Wars. It just doesn't match the fun of being in a call with your friends and playing some Duelyst and yelling at everyone for not playing the right cards or not moving to the right place.
Yeah, I think like I've played in a couple of Team Wars, but I think like the best way to learn the game is to get yelled at by someone and then making mistakes and then everybody groaning at the same time.
Yeah, everyone's just silently thinking for 70 seconds, and then everyone just starts yelling in the last 20 seconds when the rope appears.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also a captain of the team, right? Nowadays.
I am. Yeah, Juvie has since become somewhat inactive in the Duelyst scene. So I took over as captain, and we've had quite a few people over the years. We've had like a lot of old names like Mezel G, Karmafy, Good Guy Hopper,
A lot of good names.
Silver Sether. But I have been the kind of constant on the team, and yeah, I'm good buds with everyone we have right now. So win or lose, it's always fun playing Team Wars.
For sure. But do you have anything else to add before we head to the matches?
No, I think I'm ready.
All right. So the first match is gonna. So apparently there was self-employed mercenaries did a forfeit for the first match. So there's only gonna be 3 matches this week, but we're gonna stream 4 games of each match. So
Okay.
So the first match is gonna be Gebroeres Ankers versus Komodo Crusaders. And as you can see, Gebroeres Anker has 2-3 record right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Komodo Crusaders is 4-1, so it's gonna see how the Gebroeres can.
That's a very high quality graphic.
Thanks. I invest a lot of time in this.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Moving on to the bans, Keprodes Anchors banned Plasma Storm, Homeostatic Rebuke, Tempest, Scorn.
Okay.
Commodore Crusaders banned Celebrant, Juxtaposition, Blood of Air, and Furor Chakram this week.
Okay.
So, do you see any?
Well, I mean, obviously, man, I don't know how to pronounce that. Gibroides? Gibroides anchor?
I have absolutely no idea.
The anchors clearly wanted to play a lot of Swarm. They didn't ban War Beast. Like maybe they banned it the week before.
Might have been,
So yeah, maybe they want to psych Komodo Crusaders out and make them bring a bunch of anti-swarm stuff, and then they just play normal decks. But
yeah, we've seen that
yeah,
in this tournament.
It's very risky. Yeah, those are very specific bans, and I don't know. We haven't been brave enough to do anything like that yet.
Also, this week the Furor Chakram got its first ban.
Yeah, that kind of confuses me. Like, it's a good Abyssian card, and it's good in Big Lilith, it's good in Swarm, and it's good in Arcanists. But you know what else is good in those three decks? Is Lure. And Lure hasn't been banned yet. I think if you are going to ban a card to just hamstring Abyssian, it has to be Demonic Lure.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. That's like their
And
go-to removal.
the other three bans are pretty normal, pretty, solid bans.
Yeah, I think those are like the top 5 bans.
Yeah.
Celebrant, Juxtaposition, and Blood of Air, or Reader. Depending the week. But yeah, I think we're ready to head off to the game. So, we have, for the first game, we have Xate Ora Ra facing off against Bubis. And Bubis is from the Keprodes Anchors, and Xate is from the Commodore Crusaders.
Okay. I'll switch to Discord as I was watching your stream, but that's going to have a delay.
But we already see the...
Yes, I can see it fine.
Yeah. So we have the Karav facing off
8 gates. 8 gates coming out from... we are watching from PB's perspective.
That is correct.
Okay, and they are against... Is that Nemeton?
That is indeed Nemeton.
Yes, it is. Okay. So, Nemeton versus 8 gates. That is not a matchup I have ever seen played myself, or even considered, so... I'd imagine 8 gates would be very favoured. Just because you can Ghost Lightning, Thunderbomb away a lot of tokens.
That's true. A lot of the walls and illusions will be just vanish.
Yeah.
But it also kind of depends if Xate can just like fly off the board and get trial going.
Yeah, if BBs runs out of AoE before Nemeton gasses out, then maybe Nemeton can just like stick a Cron and win that way. But I don't know. Yeah, it seems bad for old Kara here.
Kara does have the buff on the minions, so just the Ghost Lightning will not clean up all of the 1 health.
That's true.
Necessary.
You'll need a spear equipped.
Yeah. And we already see 2 tokens on the board, so...
Is that adorable Ursa Plum?
That's a dude in a suit, isn't it?
I like to think it's not. But... I mean, maybe.
It looks like there's just a guy in a...
Yeah, it kind of does. So there's not too much to think about aside from where you want to move turn 1. if you're BBs.
Mm. Still, they seem to be discussing quite a bit here.
Yeah. I guess if we don't really do this, but it's probably a good idea on early turns when you don't have a lot to think about. Just kind of discuss what you want to do in the matchup, what resources are important. And he goes for the Thunder Bomb on a wall, which I
And he
I
wants into
suppose he
range.
was really valuing getting rid of every gravity well. But
Is that
then
just...
why not just Ghost Lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that.
And now
It's
he's
Thunder
10
Bomb
rounds.
is really important for like Prismatic Illusionist, but I
He's
don't know,
also
maybe
kind of
he's valuing the
exposing
Ghost Lightning a ton.
himself to the 4 damage here from the Ursa Plump as well. Not that it's probably gonna hit him to the face, but...
Yeah, I think you're okay if you trade in with the Ursaplon. Because then you just kill it for free next turn.
Hmm.
And that's one less token.
I wonder if Xate just decides to back off and try to build off a board instead.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd probably move 2 up to run away, but still threaten the tile.
Mm. This is, I think this is the second game of the set, so let me just make sure.
Okay, who check who won the first.
Yeah, so Xate actually won the first game, so Kara actually got
Oh,
a
okay,
win.
so that makes sense because 8 gates is their counter pick.
Yeah.
So we have the little tree man and his tree friend. So the tree friend with provoke is the token here, and the tree man, you don't have to worry about him.
Unfortunately,
So
the forest is gonna burn very soon.
mm-hmm.
Have you tried the Kara trial on ladder?
No, not on ladder. I feel like it's really matchup dependent though.
Mm.
Okay, he's gonna blow his AoE all this turn, it seems. Gutatsu, the Ursaplom, and Ghost Lightning. Which, he's using a lot of cards. Oh wait, no.
It just skips the turn. It's kind of interesting.
Just skips the Ghost Lightning. I guess he wants a higher value Lightning, but...
Well, there's 2 tokens on the board, so...
Yeah, you have to be a little scared. 5 mana.
Probably just taking the risk that Xate can only take 2 more tokens, and then they can just Ghost Lightning the board.
Yeah.
Get a solid lead.
It's definitely a little greedy, but... He has the Lantern Fox in hand now, which is some draw that... I guess, no, you do see it in 8 gates. I was thinking of Aggro River, but no, for 8 gates, Fox makes a lot of sense. So he can be a bit more blasé about spending his resources now.
Tense calculation I have.
So BBS kind of signals that he's not completing the quest this turn.
Blazing Spines.
Gonna go Blazing Spines.
Very resilient against the
on the tile.
Ghost Lightning.
And I'd have probably conserved the tile. Right, because he didn't need it for anything. He could have just kept the tile there. it's unlikely Raver would want to move into the spines to threaten it. So he does have a clear, but I'm not sure if he wants to take it. You have to at least clear the... You have to at least drop the Ghost Lightning this turn, I feel. He's on 3 tokens. It's very possible that he gets 2 more next turn.
Sate has 5 cards in the hand and 5 mana next turn.
So, yeah, if I were playing 8 gates here, I would definitely drop the Ghost Lightning, maybe with an 8 gates as well. Please, Ghost Lightning. Please don't greed this.
That looks like he just skipped the turn. Yes.
And he greeds it. Okay. So... So Zaid could just get the trial now. Gravity Well, and then any kind of anything for 3 mana that makes a token. Like Gravity Well aspect of the Fox, and the trial's done. You can turn the Fox into a different kind of Fox. Oh no, I suppose he needs to use it on his own wall.
Yeah, that's true. You don't get the token otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
What is the circles and Fox? Yes.
Yep, and that'll do it. That's the trial completed. I really don't think that was... I think that was overly greedy.
Well, there is no Kara PPS this turn, so Ghost Lightning will clear up this board right now.
I mean, once you complete the trial, that's it, right? Like you don't lose the trial again.
I think so.
Once your board is cleared.
Well,
that's how it works for Vitruvian.
Or was it the that you need to actually have all the tokens on the board before you can cast the...
I think it's you just have to reach 5. Well, presumably he's clearing this turn, so mouse over Kara once he clears, and we will see.
Actually, we don't, because replay is bugged.
Ah.
They don't display the correct destiny count. They just display the one that is at the end of the game.
Ah, okay. So he goes for another Fox, and I'd imagine Phoenix Fireface.
So many Lander Foxes, so many nightmares. Well, there's the Geomancer, so even more fuel to the fire.
Okay, so that answers that question. You, as long as you reach 5 tokens, you're fine.
There are no tokens on the board right now, so...
Well, there's the wall.
Well, yeah.
There's a
and
really
there's a
buff
6/6
wall.
on the board, so... But beyond that, PvPs is pretty fine.
Mm-hmm. So, there's pretty interesting options here.
I would imagine you just play Geomancer here and go face.
Well, that's what he's gonna do. I'd have personally punched the 6/6 with a Fox and Phoenix fired it, but I suppose what he's... He's just wants to race face damage.
Mm. Maybe they were thinking they just wanna get the 8 gates out and just survive
Hmm.
and not care about the Kara's game plan and just do face damage.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is,
he hasn't taken damage yet. Kara's
which
already
is
down to 16.
which is pretty easy when you have like the mentor and 8 gates in hand, and now you have 2 foxes on the board. So a lot of Phoenix Fires in the near future.
So it's going to aspect of the bear the wall. And that's going to be a really big bear.
Boom.
So there's one Phoenix Fire. Okay, he's going face with Nemeton.
That also means that there's 5 face damage coming from the Geomancer here.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda seems.
And I see he has Gravity Well.
Well, there's the
Oh,
ticket.
Thicket. Yeah, okay, that's smart. Yeah, I like this setup from Zaid, but
Well, I think
so
this is the
how
make it or
much?
break it moment for Beauties.
Mm-hmm. How much is Booby's doing right now? So he punches with Fox. He gets that's 12. 8 gates, double Phoenix Fire.
Yeah, that's 12.
That's
Now you
not
also have
enough.
Thunder Bomb here. So you could clean up those provokes, I think, and go face. But I don't think that's still enough.
Okay, so he's gonna clear board. Well, go some way to clearing board. There's 6 damage removed. Okay, so it wasn't the Spell Sentinel. It was Drake Dowager.
That's not gonna do very much.
That's... No, that's actually huge, because that removes 7 damage from the board.
Mm.
I think Boobies has this in the bag now.
Yeah.
I was really expecting it to be the Spell Sentinel.
Well, now
With
Xate
Zayt
has
with only 2 cards in hand.
a bit tricky proposition to get enough face damage here before Reva gets out of hand.
Yeah, I think he just has lethal next turn.
Not getting rid of that Crescent Spear either.
Mm-hmm. Whereas he has 8 gates, triple Phoenix Fire, which is 1 off lethal without the Crescent Spear, but it's 2 over with it. Unless you can find a way to remove this Fox without... that's not going to do it.
Just
Funny
trying to
enough,
get-
he might be alive if those walls didn't have any attack. But as it is, the Fox just dies and... Oh, that's cute.
I think this is just Xate playing all the cards and hoping for the best.
Yeah, but that's game. The very
Surprisingly-
skillful combo.
Surprisingly tense game coming from Kara.
Yeah, that was. I think it kind of just goes to show how bad this matchup is, where Kara completed the quest on turn 4, but it's still kind of still ended like that.
Also shows the Song high dominance in this meta right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's nothing new in the history of
No.
Duelyst.
There's really, like, the 8 Gates deck isn't really hurt by any of the common bans.
Alright, so we are ready to head off to the next game in the series that we are gonna show.
Okay.
So
we
it's
have
gonna be
Kieran versus Libra.
yes. So Kieran is from the Komodo Crusaders and Libra is from Keproides Ankaras.
Okay.
And we have Lionheart versus Vitruvian.
Typically, this is Vitruvian favored, but Zoran can do disgusting things, like early game, so...
If Kieran gets the Lancer out early, it's usually very hard for the Vitruvian player to deal with.
Yeah. Now, Cleric is banned in Team Wars, which makes Zoran much friendlier to deal with. Interestingly, we see 2 blue Conjurers in hand before he replaced that one. So I guess that's just kind of the late game insurance policy.
Yeah, you don't really see blue Conjurer too much nowadays.
No, I like the card. I think it's good in like a few lists, but not the most common.
There's the Fireplace.
Fireblaze, and you hate to see that if you're Songhai.
Played very defensively though, so might not be very relevant in this early game, depending on the spawns.
Yeah. I think that's a fair call against Zoran, because unless it's a Gold Vitriol version... Oh, never mind. I was going to say they have to approach you if they're not playing Gold Vitriol, but if they have Sworn Avenger, then maybe they don't have to approach you.
Sworn Avenger made a big showing in the World Cup series.
Yeah, it was, I played it a lot in Sifron, in Meltdown League. And me and a few other people kind of decided that it was actually really good in this, like, the format with other cards being banned.
Yeah.
And that's kind of carried over to later tournaments because they've had similar bans.
Yeah, I think the
Also,
card could fit in a lot of decks right now.
Mm-hmm. It was also an excellent answer to Titan when that wasn't banned in Meltdown League.
Mm.
But even without it being needed as a Titan counter, it's still very solid. But that does...
Variant had like a 5-mana removal.
Ooh. That does leave a pretty great answer. But why did he move it there, though? That just dies.
I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, that has to... Yeah, okay, that was a misclick.
Yeah.
I think he was expecting it to die and the other Dervish to transform.
Mm. But it doesn't actually die because there's not enough damage.
Yeah, so now it just dies for free. That's huge, actually.
It's a massive advantage for Kieran here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the logic was that he was gonna hit the Zirant there and then clean off the Sworn Avenger with the Ka, but...
Yeah.
if the Darius had spawned one tile further, then that would have actually worked. Maybe, no. I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
how to
that's true.
count. Yeah.
No, that's true. If the Dervish and the General punched around, then it would have killed it. Well, then it would have killed itself, but it wouldn't have transformed because the Dervish
Yes.
wouldn't have punched. Yeah. No, they just needed to move it to the corner, but they didn't. So now Kieran has a lot of mana to play with. I'm kind of liking just setting up the Conjurer and BBSing like nothing. Because that might be too
Okay.
greedy though.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going with setting up a Sunriser, which is fair enough.
I think I would prefer the Conjurer play here, to be honest. The Sunriser doesn't really seem to be doing much.
Yeah, you can just kind of move 2 upwards as Zerix, and you don't have to care about the Sunriser for a while. And he gets the perfect spawn, so you just answer it on board now. If Libra has another Fireblaze Obelisk, he's very happy right now.
Yeah.
But he is...
Oh, he's readering
Okay,
it.
he's redoing it. That's, okay.
I mean, that's also
mean,
kind of fair, but
it's okay. We don't know what his hand was, so that might have been his only good option.
you would definitely prefer to play something else there than the reader.
Yeah, for sure.
But he secures the mana altar pretty safely, so that's might lead to some plays next turn.
Typically, Dervish Vet doesn't play anything more than 5 mana. So ramping to 7, probably not huge, but I mean, we'll see.
Well, he could be playing Swarm King, I guess, but that's pretty rare, I think, if you go full Obelisk Vet.
Yeah.
But if you have 7 mana, you can play things like Trigon and something 3 mana, like a second Fireplace. So
Yeah, it might just be as simple as another 5 mana removal plus a 2-drop. I mean, that's a good turn. Kieran doesn't have a good turn right now. He used his, he used a Sunriser last turn. He just has a handful of tempo minions that aren't really doing anything for him.
can't even really get any healing procs or any activity going on.
Yeah, I mean, he can get a healing proc, but he can't play the Sunriser as well. So...
So that Fireplace is still standing.
And he had to move into it to do this play as well. Bit of a sad situation for Kieran. And Libra doesn't get the best spawn, but he gets a good spawn.
I mean, to be honest, if you're Libra, you don't really actually care about the board here as a Vetruvian, I don't think. Too much.
Oh, okay, he has Bone Swarm. Interesting. That's
It's gonna do a lot of cleaning up.
yeah, that's really good for Libra. He does have to be... I'm assuming... Yeah, he's playing this because Celebrant was banned, so he doesn't get the Golem package. So he does have to be careful about burning his hand too quickly.
If he's playing Bone Swarm, I think it's also possible that he's playing some kind of Acro Cyrix variant with the Gust and Zonefort. But Doomcaster would indicate maybe just regular Vet.
So does he have another 2-drop? Yes, he does. Another Obelisk. Okay.
And he does play around the Sunriser here somewhat.
Yeah, I I like this positioning. I think that's pretty good.
He keeps the obelisk spread out far apart, so that's usually the mistake I fall into.
He played, yeah, he uh, preemptively played around Hyperion's claim, which is really good.
But Kieran still doesn't have a board, and there's like a lot of heavy hitters on the field right now.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty good, but I still feel like Sunrise the Healing Mystic is the play. He's gonna do it there, which is, yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's fair. If you can back off from the obelisk, that reduces their threat quite a bit here.
Oh, those are more good spawns from Libra. This game would have been super over if he had remembered to move Kenham to the corner.
I really like Kanumka in like most vet lists. It's a really flexible card even without the fall.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Interesting.
That's a blast from the past.
It is. Not a fan of that running that card after the nerf, but some people definitely still are.
It's been showing up quite a bit in the casts lately.
Oh.
Oh wow! I think that would have nearly been lethal though.
It's damn close.
2 off. I think if you're 2 off, you just go face.
Yeah, no, well, no, I'd clear the Sunriser, because Zeron can do disgusting things with a Sunriser that is left up, but I wouldn't have cleared the Healing Mystic.
No, okay, the one Dervis wasn't active, so no. Yeah. So 6 off. But these 2 fireplaces kind of box Kieran in effectively, so he's kind of trapped with the a lot of face damage coming from all the directions.
Yeah, and like Libra has 2 cards in hand, but he doesn't need cards to win from this position.
And still the blue conjurer is in the hand.
And it's gonna come out. I guess he's probably hoping for a Lightbender or something. Pray to RNGesus.
I'm not sure if you have any better plays here except the silver card, but that doesn't really seem to win you the game in the long run.
And he's going to BBS rather than buff the Conjurer. Which, I guess it dies either way. And, yeah, Kindling, not the Arcanist you want, nor a Shakri.
Mm.
Bad spawns for once from Libra, so no lethal.
But I'm not sure if even if you survive this turn, I'm not sure if you can claw your way back in here. There's so much damage on the board, so Libra can just clean up all the minions Kieran plays.
Like maybe if Libra just has nothing in hand.
Mm.
If his 2 cards are like Pax and Dunecaster or something.
Well, even Dunecaster would be very great here.
Yeah, that's true. That, on the other hand.
Yeah, that's a really sad turn for Kieran here.
Mm-hmm. I would have conceded by now, I think.
But yeah, pretty solid obelisk vet showing up
Though
into.
the what the fact he didn't trade in with the Falcius, he didn't trade in with his general. This is actually a really good like I know he doesn't have Aperian's claim, but it's a really good Aperian's claim.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this if you don't lose few games to Aperian's claim like all the time, you don't really respect it from this position too much. That doesn't really seem to be too much Kieran can actually do to clean up the board here.
No, if he had a Sunriser plus 2 heal procs clears almost all of this.
Mm. But now he just needs to survive the next turn.
So Zoran is going to play the Shakri avatar behind her.
Well, he's playing around Star Fury, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to draw a Fizz. Interesting card to run.
Reminds me of those early Healer lists when
Mhm.
Battle Pets were a thing.
So then, yeah, you want that to trade into the Shakri. And then your Darvish can trade into the Silver Guard.
Pretty good positioning from Kieran to make sure that a lot of the damage goes to the minions here.
Yeah, no, I disagree with buffing the Silver Guard instead of the Shakri, but the positioning was good. And then, yeah, he's going to take the healing space with Faustius. Sandswell on a Fireblaze? Oh, First Wish.
Yeah.
And a Jammer. Okay, that's really big. That's making this a lot less comebackable for Kieran. And yeah, really it's Oath or Bust here. And he draws.
A lot of these.
So you can't cast Oath for 5 mana. That's a
You get
great
all
hand.
3 of them.
Okay, well, good game. That was an uphill battle for Kieran, certainly.
Yeah, the early Fireplace did a lot of work in the end.
Oh yeah, it only just died last turn.
Yeah, that should be lethal. Like,
Yeah, I think this is another case of like one player makes a pretty big mistake with leaving the Cannon card to die and letting Kara complete the trial. But they kind of just win anyway because the matchup is so good for them.
mm.
It was like it was cleanly played aside from those 2 mistakes, I think. But yeah, had they avoided those, I think the 2 games we watched would have been like absolute just blowouts.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong showing from Libra once again. But
The 0 ribbon bronze champion.
but we are gonna go to the next game, which is also gonna be Libra.
Okay.
So
And yeah, the Dervish pick goes some way to justifying the plasma ban, but
it's a lot
if I was
easier to
banning
play
4,
Vitruvian if
if
you
I was
don't have to face off the plasma storm.
if I was going to ban 4 AoE cards, I wouldn't bring 8 gates. Like, I'd bring 6 decks that benefit from having no AoE in the format.
Maybe that was their backup plan in case the
Yeah, maybe.
opponent figures out something. But we have on the left side, we have McLaren trying to beat the bronze monster. And it seems to be Sibon list.
So we're still watching from Libra's perspective.
I personally like Sibon as a general because I think Sibon is like one of the most flexible Vitruvian generals. But
yeah, I like Sibon.
On the other hand, I'm not sure if I've yet to find like the Sibon list. You see a lot of kind of mid-range-ish lists, but
I think Sifron really thrives in formats where he gets the Golem package, but other stuff is banned.
Yeah, Sibon doesn't. I don't think he does very well on the against Wanderer and those other lists.
But so, am I crazy, or did Libra have the opportunity to start with double obelisk, and he replaced an obelisk?
Yeah, but the double obelisk is a very awkward opening, I think.
I mean, it loses to Lightbender, but aside from that, it's
Well, there's also the thing that if you play the obelisk in front of you and then diagonal somewhere, it increases the chance of the double spawns, but also it kind of blocks you in. So it's you're basically throwing obelisk away to box yourself in, kind of. And also it loses to Lightbender, but nobody plays Lightbender. But I'm not sure if I agree with this positioning from Libra playing the obelisk behind himself. That kind of seems very conservative.
I don't mind it. So he's playing the minion that gives you wish spells, but from what we've seen, he's not playing Pantheran. Oh, that spawn. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
Well, you had 2 bad spawns, so... Actually, only
did he have 2? Yeah, no, he only had that one.
Yeah. Oh, he's really going all in on the obelisks. All the super drops in the world.
Here, I guess you just play the obelisk and Bone Swarm to clear the Deotas.
Yeah. Oh, he plays the Dusk Fever instead.
Okay. That's fair enough. He doesn't want McLaren to ramp to 5, which is... He still might, because of the Tombstone spawn. Nope. Okay.
McLaren also has the access to the 1-mana spell that kills obelisks.
Yeah, that's true. A quality constraint.
Yeah. So playing obelisks is a bit riskier proposition, especially Fireplace.
So he doesn't have Blood of Air or Swell this turn, but he does have Portal Guardian. Portal Guardian in Sifron is interesting.
This kind of reminds me of the list I used to run in the World Cup with the Dialduses and Sworn Avengers and Portal Guardians. But I think the Portal Guardian is just there as a big body, basically. It's not the...
Okay, it gets a good spawn this time. But, I mean, Cannon Car is useless. Everything has 0 attack.
Well, you can get rid of the metallurgist, so that's a thing. Yeah, no, you can't clean up the Guardian either.
You can clear the Tombstone with Primus Fist Falcius, but it's a Tombstone. Like, it's not that important. And then you also play into Portal Guardian.
But it does develop 2 minions on the board, which is something I cannot like in this position, personally.
Yeah, I mean, you could just kind of have to make the best of what you've got if you're Libra here.
Yeah.
You can at least play them in a way where Portal Guardian can only frenzy 2 of your 3 minions. Oh, wait, sorry, 1 of your, like, your general and 1 minion. So he's not gonna... What?
Mis-sequencing.
Yeah, that was,
That was a big oof.
not great. So he's just gonna cut his losses and not play the Primus. Oh, bad spawn. That's unfortunate.
Well, it depends if Niklaran actually gets minions out this turn.
Also opt not to first wish anything. I feel like first wishing the Dervish would have been worth it, because it's unlikely Niklaran plays 3 minions in 1 turn without being Zerix.
Just first vision, the Valsius would have also been like okay, I think.
Yeah, that too. It's looking like Blood of Air.
Looks like Blood of Air, yeah.
Which is a pretty weak Blood of Air, all things considered.
But if you're playing against Obelix, I think just Blood of Air in the Obelisks might be okay, because you're still ahead on the board. And for Obelisk at least, it's a pretty hard board to come back from.
So he is going to Blood of Air the Obelisk. And just... kill the Falcius with Frenzy. So if I'm Libra, I don't mind that turn. Like, it cleared your board, but it could have been a lot worse.
You just need something to put on the board to get back into the game. Well, that's a pretty good card.
It is. Maybe... I mean, you could consider Bone Swarming, just so you can run away and get away from the frenzy of the Portal Guardian. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
Then you just gotta have to hope Niklaran doesn't have the equality constraint. That would be a very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, if you play around everything, you just kind of don't play cards.
You don't play Duelyst and you go out in the sunshine to think about your life's decisions. I think I would not have done that personally. I would just gone to back and...
Oh yeah, well, trading into the Portal Guardian while it only has 1 attack isn't too bad. But it does let the Metallurgist hit your Fireblaze.
Yeah.
Or not, apparently. This is just going to be Sandswell.
Crap, no. Oh,
crap.
Okay, that's...
I forgot he was on 6 mana. Okay, well, that's pretty much game.
Yeah. I don't think there's any coming back from this anymore.
Yeah. I'm not sure why Niklaran ran away. I don't know what he's scared of, necessarily.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to run forward either, so... I think it's just one of those things that you're just so far ahead, so if you run back, you're just making sure they don't have any crazy monolithic visions.
I guess he played around Russia's curse to an extent. That's probably not what he had in mind, but
Mm.
yeah, I think that cannon car was kind of his only real hope, and he replaced it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. I mean, you can clean up the crapnel here, but that still leaves like a lot of board.
You mean the Guardian?
Yeah. I mean, you could have also just you could also just third fish the Dervish there and clean up the crapnel paradigm.
That's true.
But I'm not sure
Yeah, you
if
probably
that's
should
worth
have.
it either. Well, that's a pretty good pull here.
Yeah. So I think he's just trying to go for a really cheeky lethal. It's I don't really see it happening, but
Well, he's getting there.
yeah, I mean he's playing to win, which I like. If everything goes perfectly, there's a small chance he can kill McLaren.
I will block Niklara into the corner though with the obelisks. This seems
Yeah, McLaren can deny all the spawns with just 2 minions.
yeah.
This is kind of why I like not moving back, because those minions are threatening the general, and even though McLaren is really ahead on board, none of his minions can actually help him play them off.
That's true.
So he's gonna first wish grapnel.
And that's a lot of face damage.
He did get the bad spawn, man. I've been saying bad spawn so much this game. He, oh, EMP. That's,
Well.
okay.
Well, I think that should be game.
Yep. Yeah, that's just game. I mean, he can live for another turn.
But, pretty unfortunate game from Libra here, I think. But I think the thing is with the Vitruvian is that Vitruvian is the best faction against Vitruvian in general.
Yes.
Especially if you're playing Sibon. It's a really bad matchup against the obelisks. Also hanging on to that third wish. Hanging on to a dream.
Yeah, third wish is kind of a trump card, but please don't play the third wish. Okay. So he has 7 with a rush dervish. Only 7 more. And that's lethal. But McLaren just needs to find 2. And despite playing no golems, McLaren still has a really healthy hand size. Oh, that's Blood of Air. Yep, okay.
Good game. Yeah, I think Nikolainen just found the perfect curve cards to play, so he really didn't need the draw.
Yeah, he's just kind of playing on curve, like turn 1 2 drop, turn 2 4 drop, turn 3 5 drop, turn 4 grapnel, turn 5 EMP. It's
Yeah,
just like going like that.
that makes it really hard for Obelisks to do anything.
Oh yeah.
But we still have one more game from this set, so
Okay.
this time it's just gonna be Abyssian versus Vanar.
Okay. The two kind of well, maybe not undervalued. The two kind of look down upon factions, which, I mean, statistically, Abyssian's been doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was doing very badly at the start of the season, I think, but now it's been picking up quite a bit. So, and we see Arcanist Lilith here,
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better. Oh, wow. This hand is actually pretty insane.
and Kara is not playing the trial this time, so this is just
Yeah, this is Warkara, perhaps?
Shivers.
Wow.
That's a card
It
I
has a
haven't
lot of...
seen in a while.
No, that is the dream opening if you're playing those two cards. But honestly, if you're Starkly here, I think you just ignore that whole board and just go Owl, Inkling Surge, Darkfire Sack, and just kind of win the game.
Kind of curious what kind of Death's Advocate, what kind of game plan he's having here with the Kara.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Walls, but I could be wrong. This is just the opening hand every Arcanist player dreams of.
It always feels like they have this opening when they're playing against me.
Yep, oh, same. Oh, but he's not going to go for it. He's just going to deny the ramp instead.
Maybe they
Which
just
I think is probably fair enough.
I think they just feel very confident against Kara here.
Yeah. Denying 2 mana worth of ramp is pretty strong. That would have put Kara on 7. Or 8 to turn off the next.
Mm. And there's double Darkfire Sack here, there for like all the procs in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just needs a blue Conjurer now, and he's just set for the whole game. Plays more mana now. It's actually kind of interesting that Darkly didn't Darkfire Sack that Wraithling last turn. Just assuming that DA would leave it up. Which he did. So, is he going to delay the Owl another turn?
Be kind of weird. But I guess you can do it if you just back off here.
Yeah, and storming the board isn't a bad idea. Assuming DA doesn't have Frostburn.
But DA is kind of known for playing kind of all kinds of decks, so...
Yeah, you never can tell.
If you start with Shivers, you're already like pretty out there. Or if you pick Kara as your general.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Kara is the best Vanar general, to be honest.
I'm just gonna say that you're wrong because Tigers happened.
Okay, so he's gonna go for a bunch of illusionist procs instead.
Well, if there's the AoE clear here, then that's gonna be sad.
And he draws another Darkfire Sack.
Maybe Starkly just found a way to stack the deck from the client side somehow.
I think the way to do that is play Owl Beast in your deck, and it just kind of all falls into place. If you look at the art for Darkfire Sacrifice, the Shadow Demon thing is tapping its feet together.
Tap dancing nightmare. Okay, so we get the walls out. Luminous charges.
These are 5-mana walls, big boy walls. But the eagle-eyed viewer will notice a gap in the defenses here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why he
Where?
decided to play them that way around.
Starkly can just kind of moonwalk out of them.
Or he can just hit them. That works too.
Yeah, he can just hit them. I guess he wants to just kill the Malicious Wisp with his face. And he doesn't have to worry about Winter's Wake until 2 turns.
But is that better than just swarming out here?
I don't know. No, I'd say probably is, because then if you kill the Wisp, that delays Winter's Wake by another turn. You can still go Owl, Darkfire Sack, Owl.
Well, that's the Arcanist. No cards in hand. All the elves on the board.
Oh man. Oh, I feel so bad for that Glacial. It has so much work to do.
Well, there's the Vespers coming out.
There's the Bone Chill, but it's like... Maybe if he's really lucky, they'll all hit that 1 owl. Nope.
Not today. Oh, there's the Snow Chaser. The
Maybe the Illusionist? Okay, killing that owl was good at least.
Yeah.
But it's not like Starkly doesn't have another one in hand again. We do have to remember this is Abyss, not Songhai, so he can't instantly just convert his Arcanist board into 20 face damage. There's still some positioning involved.
And Starkly is kind of boxed in here with all those walls. So I'm not sure whose position I like here more. I think that Advocate does have an advantage here.
Yeah, I thought the game was pretty much over, but I was kept on thinking that like Starkly was playing Songhai, just because I saw owls and illusionists and mana forges. But yeah, Abyss doesn't have the same tools to.
mean, you can get the
Refill hand.
going pretty fast, but not too many damage spells.
DA's down to 2 cards though, which is still double what Starkly has.
Double
With a
glacial.
second glacial.
Does he have the Vespers to do anything?
Yeah, he's at 1 card now.
Well, that's
Okay, that's 12 damage. Awful RNG. I mean, you can kill 1 owl. That might be enough, actually. Those
down to 2 health, so. But you're not playing against Songhai.
DA hasn't punched yet, right?
I don't think he has.
Okay, so he can clear that owl. Those were, like, the best 2 cards he could have had, pretty much.
For sure.
Starkly... Oh my god.
No answer to the board.
Yeah, I think...
And nothing to play either.
But the Death Knell for next turn.
Do we just go face or do we just run away?
I think... Yeah, I like this line of play, because this doesn't give him lethal. If he has Winter's Wake.
No? Yes? No? Oh, it's going face.
Gonna go face? Okay. I think knowing I have the Knell in hand, I'd have probably cleared.
Yeah, all the Archons are coming back anyway, so...
Yeah, just so D8 doesn't get some like crazy lethal on me.
Mm.
Oh, Snow Chaser, right, that's why he had the... I was confused why he didn't have 1 card in hand.
Oh, Malicious Wisp, okay.
Oh, that's huge.
That delays everything.
Yeah, that stops him playing now. So, does he replace it? I think the replace decision here probably depends on if he has Void Pulse in the deck. Because if you can hit 2 Void Pulse, I doubt DA is playing any healing in Wall Vespers.
But you're gonna have to Ritual Banish in that Malicious Wisp.
Yeah.
Both players are kind of top decking right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I'm Starkly, I think I just hope. Hope DA doesn't get anything really good and just keep the Knell. That's insane as well.
Alcuin Lore Master. Wow. No, Alcuin Fugitive, right.
So one of these cards is a Chaser, and one is a Wintertide. Okay. Can... Can Starkly body block with Nell?
I don't
He
think
should be able to,
can.
right? He just runs there and plays Nell between the Chaser and the Snowman.
Yeah.
And then BBSs and everything has 10 trillion health, because he brings back 3 owls. Jesus.
Prepare
And
for
everything,
some hefty
yeah.
boys.
Oh my god. And he top decks another Nell.
An EMP will do nothing in this situation.
Yeah, DA just has to go for some kind of lethal, but he only has 2 damage. He can't fight through this board. The third
He could-
Snowman isn't going to help him.
he could also be playing the whatever Vesperian Might or those weird
Yeah,
banner
that
cards.
would certainly help, but it's like... Okay, he can kill a Prismatic Illusionist.
Yes, there are no in-game drops because I don't actually know how to enable them.
I think mine are just enabled by default. I don't know, maybe I did something to enable them.
I thought only the partner streamers got those drops, but or you need to stream some
No.
amount, or
I'm definitely not a partnered streamer.
but you have 1,000 subscribers, right? At Twitch.
I have 100 followers. Yeah, this is this is so rough. I actually feel so bad for DA here.
But he's not dead yet, so there's that.
He's not dead, but the Nell top deck into Nell top deck is kind of really brutal.
So you just clean up the board here and play a second Nell to the face.
Yep. Obviously play around, move away from the walls to play around. Winter's Wake. And then,
There's the
oh,
dead Nells everywhere.
oh,
Look at that.
he has 6 owls on board. Everything
Nice.
just got 12 health. Oh, that's not fair.
This reminds me when Vetruvian only had Siphon Energy as the removal
Yeah.
when your opponent played Blood Moon Priestess.
Oh, that's so sad. Ambler. Oh, I'm heartbroken.
That's so many turns too late.
Yep.
But he did the honorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Any feelings?
I have a lot of feelings, but I'm not sure I should share them publicly. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a very rough game.
That was. And in fairness, DA did get a pretty nutty draw when he was down to 2 cards, and they were Snowman plus the 3 Winter Mayrids.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting.
That was a good game, though.
Interesting decks coming out from people, so that was very refreshing to see every week.
Yeah, and who won this series?
Who won this series.
It was Komodo Crusaders, right?
Commodores did win 6-5.
Oh, oh, 6-5. Wow.
A lot of close games. But yeah, I think we're ready to head off to the next match if you're ready.
Uh-huh.
So the next match is gonna be Duelyst Disciples facing off Rock and Rocks.
Okay, I've heard of those teams.
And
Damn, that's a sexy logo.
that's a pretty nice logo. I had to make it bigger too, so it shows in the screen properly. But the Duelyst Disciples banned Golem Metallurgist, the Ebon Ox, the Albeast Sage, the Greater Fortitude, and Rock and Rocks banned Jux, Metallurgist, Spelljammer, and Cryptographer. So
I mean, 4 of these bands were mine, so I agree with those. But I kind of like Rock and Rox's bands as well.
yeah,
Jammer, I think, can just be replaced with Sojourner in most cases.
Really?
But yeah, I don't
Oh,
think Jammer hurt, like losing Jammer in place of Sojourner or some Infaction draw hurts too many decks. But
that's true, yeah. But Sojourner is a lot slower card to play.
yeah, for sure. But you know, I think I like the bands from the enemy team. Obviously, I like the bands from my team.
Do you have any insight why did you choose Eponox and Albeast Sage?
Albie Sage, because I didn't want to deal with what we just saw in the last game. Ox was mainly just because we got swept by Ox earlier in this Team Wars, and we've also gotten swept by Ox in like 2 other Team Warses. And we, as a team, do very poorly into Ox. Generally.
Fair. You also banned Greater Fortitude, so
Yeah, Fortitude was because the enemy team had been playing eggs in the last week and some other weeks, and banning Lance only hurts eggs, whereas banning Fortitude hurts eggs as well as any kind of Starhorn deck that they might be playing. So Fort was just a more generalist way to hurt eggs.
I think like Greater Fort hasn't been banned that too many times yet. But it's certainly a very strong card.
It's a more niche ban.
Okay, I need to check the list here. I think this might be the game. Yes, probably. Hopefully.
No, that's not the game. This is, this is an awful game. Don't stream this one.
Okay. Abort. What
It's
about the next game?
It's pretty much. I sent in Discord.
But there
or
were
I can
games.
just.
Or did
Yeah.
I miss
Putz versus Icy Fire.
Okay. Let's go with that. Technical difficulties. Is this the correct?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
Because Icy picked the wrong deck and insta conceded.
Yeah.
So it's the one above that.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have
Yeah, this is it.
Purge representing Rock and Rocks and Icy Fire on the right side. And I think Purge is the player with the highest win rate. Probably. I would imagine. After you. maybe.
No, my win rate isn't that good. Like,
Is
I
it
have a
like
lot of
60?
wins, but I'm 15-8, I think.
That's still
Whereas
like
Birds is
60
like,
or 70. But yeah, I think Birds
yeah.
is like a 99% or something.
No, like I had 2 weeks where I went 5-1, but I also had some rough weeks. So this will be my first time watching this game from, not our perspective.
And you have the Shidai.
For some context, we previously ran Arcanist Kara into this and skipped our first 2 turns and lost. Then we played solo Brome into it and didn't draw a single removal that worked on the Tigris until, like, we were dead. So this is our third attempt at beating their opening list.
A lot of teams have tried and failed against Rock and Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems pretty standard Lion list as far. Nothing special.
Yeah, no,
Just
it
very
is
solid.
like just a solid tempo IO list. Yeah, we also didn't get the best start this game.
Well, Kotetsu to the face seems always appropriate.
And I had to complain so much to make sure Gotatsu couldn't hit face.
That would have been pretty awkward, I think.
Yeah. Can you imagine 8 gates in a world where Gotatsu hits face? Because it's best not to think about.
I'm trying to already forget the Celerity Foxes and Tusk Boars.
Yeah, this is our third game in a row where we went second and missed turn 1. Which is pretty unfortunate in my opinion.
So what kind of Shida list are you running?
This is... They banned Jux, but we decided to play Arcanists anyway. So we just substituted 3 Jux with 3 Mana Vortex.
So still a alright 0 mana spell, if you need 0
Mhm.
mana spells.
And thankfully for us, his turn 2 wasn't amazing. He just played a 4/4. Until now, until this game, we didn't actually think he played any Dispel, because we hadn't seen Lightbender in either of the previous games. So we're like, oh, well, yeah, we'll play Arcanist, because he has no Dispel.
They actually did that against us once. I was playing Obelisks and I was like pretty sure that they were not playing Lightbenders, and then so Lightbenders after Lightbenders. And I felt very betrayed by Stoic Rooster after that.
Wait, what are we doing? Oh yeah, no, this turn was kind of clean, actually. So we just do a whole lot of Arcanist things. Which put us back in the game after skipping turn 1.
Well, that's very nice. Did you steal a Holy Immolation?
Yes, we stole Limo.
Nice. Of course you stole Holy Immolation. That's always what you
Yeah.
steal. That or Cloud of Air. Or Fault. It always kind of
And
trips me over
Tectonic
that
Spikes.
Scroll Bandit is actually an Arcanist.
Yep. in retrospect, I would have, traveled back in time and shot myself when I was thinking, like, yeah, that seems okay. But
Well, Songhai was lacking strong openings, so well, you could dispel the Chakri there, but it seems a bit awkward.
yeah, he can't actually play the Lightbender without having to hit into the back of Scroll Bandit.
Can't you just move 2 up, play the Lightbender, and then hit, or does it remove the attack?
I don't know. I was assuming it did, but it might not.
I think I've lost a game to that effect once, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
But I was thinking you just move 2 up and play Lightbender and not worry about the backstab. But I think also they might want to keep the Lightbender a bit tucked away until they get more
Yeah,
value.
I mean, they have to. Maybe they weren't sure about the interaction either, so they didn't want to risk it.
Mm.
But that did leave us with Chakri on board.
It looks like a 4-5 until it's hitting 12 to face.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so we just we sadly don't have a Hourlock Kindling, so we just have to go Sparrowhawk MDS. And we're roping at this point because we were debating what to do. So we're like, where do we move the general? And I said move the general 2 down, just to mess with the symmetry. But so he can just Lightbender to clear this, or he can go Sentinel Blood Tear.
Well, there's the Akron on the hand now, so...
Oh, I don't think
draw.
he... But yeah, this is definitely the best play for him. So at this point we're like, oh, he does play Lightbender.
Hello, Joshua. Welcome to the stream. I think Rocken is still alive and active.
I thought he died in a tragic Duelyst accident. Oh no, he was talking in my stream chat yesterday. Yeah, and then he told me to play solo Starhorn, so I did, and then he queued up and sniped me with solo Starhorn, so I had to play a solo Starhorn mirror.
That seems like an awful.
It wasn't very fun. I did win because I went second, so I got to play 3 finalities.
Magmar mirrors, stuff of legends.
Okay, yeah, so we use our runaway spell and just drop the kindling we finally drew.
Well, there's the Lightbender option, but I think they're just gonna play Tigers here.
Yeah.
Because if anything I learned from Stoic Rooster is that you always play Tigers. like it's hot.
It's it's a that's a good advice.
Birds has his minions kind of spread out here though with the runaway spell, so
Yeah,
kinda
the runaway
buys you,
spell was clutch.
buys you 2 turns here to figure things out. Oh, it's just the Crown. Okay.
Oh, he does play Corrin. Okay, I swear he played Tigris that turn, but I'm just misremembering.
In an alternate timeline.
Yeah. And there's an Imperial congregation.
And 2 Tigresses in hand. This looks pretty rough for you guys, actually.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of, we'll say, spirited discussion on what to do for this turn.
That 6Y is a very big thing to deal with here.
Yeah.
Okay, Sparrowhawk into Sparrowhawks into Onyx Beer Seal. Well, that's a pretty clean answer to the board, as it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was saying we should Miss Dragon the Kindling away, but the argument for not doing that was he had already played an immolation, and we had stolen an immolation, so he only has 1 left.
Mm. But you're also kind of playing into Lightbender here.
Yes, that is true. And we shouldn't have. We should have kind of been having Lightbender in mind, because there is literally 2 spaces away from our general.
Mm. Well, sometimes you don't see the things that are literally in front of you.
True.
The Lightbender into Silver card seems very tempting here.
It doesn't actually answer either of our minions.
Well, you could also Silver card into Congregation thing. And maybe clean up the kindling here.
Yeah, that is the right. That's what they end up doing. I remember now.
Lowly plays, we have the best games today. Because we have the only games.
Uh-huh. The best Duelyst streamer who is currently live. You can take that to the bank.
Well, that's 2 big boys on the board again. And they're very close to closing this game.
Yeah, so we're having some more spirited discussion.
But what can you actually do here?
Well, we have Miss Dragon and Imo in hand, because we stole the Imo, and we have the Miss Dragon that we didn't use from Sparrowhawk. I do not remember what the other 3 cards are. Certainly is an owl, I'll tell you that much.
Well, the Holy Immolation still was pretty nice here.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, I'm not sure. We might have. Have we? Have we met before? guys even
So-
got the Zachary Avatar there out.
Feels kind of bad running a 6-4 into a 5-3, but just how it has to be. And tragically, we didn't have another spell to get the Shakri a little bit healthier. So, his options here, he has two really good options. But then he goes for the old adage of always play Latigris.
Mm. I'm not sure if they even had a discussion there. I think Stoic just said, like, play the Lightstrikers, I don't care.
Lightbender Oath is for cowards.
Who needs Trinity out? Still pretty close game here. So the Arcanists seem to be taking a beating here.
Mm. So we play our trap card.
Calligrapher. Oh, Kotatsu. And everything is just as it should be in Songhai World.
Mm-hmm. And suddenly we're winning again.
I still kind of feel it's kind of crazy that people don't play Calligrapher more. It's like,
It's a good card.
it's a crazy good card.
Especially now it draws instantly instead of at the end of turn.
Yeah. Well, there's the Lightbender coming out. Probably. But they don't respect the... Well, they couldn't do anything there, so...
Yeah, he's gonna punch to set up the 2-turn lethal.
Let Tigers.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't have punched if he had the Latigris, like, in hand.
So you guys only need to find 6 damage here to seal the deal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Calligrapher didn't give us Spiral Technique or Phoenix Barrage.
I thought that was always included in the 3 cards you get. Kind of like in Trinity.
Yeah. Then the last one is like a coin flip between Artifact Defiler and Joseki.
Have you ever actually seen Yoseki being played?
I mean, played it a lot in testing.
Well,
Because it cost 0 mana, and it was actually pretty good. Well, it was pretty good in context with some other broken stuff we were testing.
I kind of like the idea, but it kind of felt like an idea for a different game in a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Time when Time Maelstrom was 7 mana.
So we're pretty happy with our little board we've got set up.
Let's see him. He can punch through here. Tempest into Tigress, maybe.
You kind of have to Arclight Sentinel as well to like get the full clear.
Mm. Well, there's the Tiger Cup coming out.
Oh yeah, right, that works instead of Arclight Sentinel.
This
So-
does gonna leave Perch into 6 health, so it's
Mhm.
usually a lethal turn for Songhai, but
So we figure out that if we get backstab, we can clear the Tigress, but without the backstab spell, we cannot. So we roll, and we don't get the backstab, and then we think for a few seconds, and we're like, okay, what do we do? What can we do? And then Icy says, wait, this is lethal. Our Lord Calligrapher blessed us with 8 gates.
wow.
And Orange Jesus blessed us with the running away spell again.
I'm not sure how I would feel as Perch there, to be honest.
Yeah, we
That
had
was pretty smooth lethal.
yeah, we had like a pretty much a 50-50 because we needed backstab to clear or extra movement to run. It's gotten 8 gates way too many times. We heartbreakingly lost an entire set because of Calligrapher pulling 8 gates.
Mm. But for the next game, do you want to cast your own side or Perch?
I'll cast my own side. Why not?
Your own side. Okay.
Sorry, I played quite a lot of games.
Alright,
Yes, this page.
Okay, so let's
That one.
again.
Uh,
This one.
The magma one, yeah.
Alright, so we have Sibon on the left side
Mm-hmm.
and Perch on the right side.
Now, I'm playing a very kind of greedy rag deck here, where they banned Spelljammer, so I couldn't play Spelljammer, and they banned Cryptographer, so I couldn't play Bloodbound Mentor. So for my draw, I opted to just go triple spikes, and because I was going triple spikes, I just threw in 3 Decimus as well.
Seems fair.
And I did the Scientist opening, because I always like to do that against Kalios. Against most Songhai, actually. And already we're off to a rough start.
Yeah, that Paddle Bando is gonna, yeah. I think this is also the first time we've casted you playing Magmar in this season.
Yeah, I haven't been playing a whole lot of Magma, which is probably why the win rate's so low. Prior to this game, I had bought the set back, and from, I think, 1 and 3 to 3 all. Yeah, I think that's right. Because I won the previous 2 games with this list.
Proving that eggs are still strong.
Well, the game before this kind of didn't count because I was against Farth and he skipped turn 1, and then he lava slashed a Ragebinder and forgot to kill the egg and ended his turn.
But I thought if you're playing Boat, you're always skipping your first turn.
Can I explain that opening? I saw it yesterday, curious about it. So it's called, named after the scientist from when he played, because he kind of popularized it.
Also
Basically, you play your 2-drop in the middle instead of to the top or bottom. When you basically want to double dare your opponent to take the middle tile instead of playing something defensively, where you either think you're either playing against a faction with like a deck that's not playing many 2-drops, so you want to do it versus, say, Mantra, or you're playing against something with frail minions that need to turn to get going. So, like, Kalios doesn't want to play a Battle Panda on the middle tile. Or say he doesn't want to play a Scroll Bandit on the middle tile. So, when either he has to, and you get a positive trade because you started with like a beefy 2-drop, or they will almost always concede the middle tile, and having their minion positioned on the middle tile is a little bit better than having it positioned on the top or bottom tile. The risk, of course, is if they have a really good turn 1 play that uses the middle tile, you don't get to ramp into 4 mana, and your plays for the next turn are kind of more limited. And I will eventually have to start talking about what's happening now in this game, because it's not pretty.
It's not pretty.
I'm playing eggs against a deck with triple Scorn, triple Panda. And I think this is the turn where I ask my team if I can concede. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'll do this. There's no way he has another Scorn, right?
Well, it seems logical. Well, you threw the tectonic spikes for...
Yeah, spikes is a nice draw. So it's turn 3 now. They've currently played 2 AoE ping cards. Oh yeah, you never do it if you need to ramp into 4 to have a play. It's only if you have either 2-2-drops or a 3-drop already in hand.
Didn't Scientist play more into 2-draw days?
Yeah, he did.
So I think that opening was more common back then.
He played a fair bit into 1-draw as well, though.
Yeah.
So of course he has another Scorn.
Well, naturally.
Yep.
Anyone who has played Duelyst will have seen that one coming.
Mm-hmm. So I'm about to move up to get the tile, and my team's like, no, protect your egg. So I don't move up, and I protect my egg, which is probably correct.
There's the Wild Inceptor coming to hatch the friendly egg.
So I move up there so at least my egg can threaten the tile, and I can body block Kalios from killing the egg.
I think this is where he plays the Blood Tier.
I forget what exactly he does this turn, but it's not kind. I do draw the War Beast, which is helpful. Yeah, that's what he does.
Claim for it the bane of all everything.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the positioning of the Inceptor and his general makes it impossible for him to play around War Beast.
Still, there's got a bit of your health is getting kind of low.
Yes, it is.
And tectonic spikes doesn't seem very tempting when you're low on health.
No, I do have 3 Azure Herald in this deck. I just opt to run away to play around another Flame Wreath. Which, this was like the one questionable play I made, I think. Was running away here versus like staying and punching.
Why do you think punching would have been better?
It sets up for a potential lethal with tectonic spikes. Like, there are pros and cons to both, but I went with running away, and I'm not sure that was the right play given the kind of game state. And the fact that he can so easily answer my eggs from far away.
That's true, yeah.
With the third Scorn, or more Pandas, or Jux, or Inner Focus Miss Dragon.
I think you see this kind of a lot in people that they run away when they should have stayed and punched because they're gonna get scared about the board state. For various reasons. I just generally think if you're punching the face, you're winning the game. So if you keep punching the face, you're gonna win the game eventually.
Yeah. Just get the psychological advantage. So I draw a really clutch Inceptor here. Which, I mean, it's a clutch Inceptor, but it also leaves me with 1 Inceptor left in the deck. So it pretty much rules out hatch combo.
So you probably want to get rid of the keep the whole blue there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Battle Pando at least has to take damage to hurt me. And also it has 4 health, so my Ripper can't kill it.
Mm. And there's the rock pulverizer.
Yep, that's the most underrated card in eggs.
Yeah, it's just one of those cards you don't really see outside the is it the arena? Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
Rift.
Rift.
Farb Storm.
R.I.P.
Speaking of which, how do you feel about Swamp Entangler?
I think it's just a worse Rock Pulverizer. Unless you're running a deck that's really, really heavy on buffs. I think it's just a worse Rock Pulverizer.
That was pretty rough, but okay. There's the Grandmaster Sendo coming down.
Yeah.
This is pretty awkward now.
So I'm desperately looking for Saurian Finality, because that pretty much wins me the game, seeing as he only has one card in hand. And as much as I want to spikes, regardless of what I draw from spikes, I will die next turn.
But you're replacing the Luvalons here.
I'm like, instinctually, like I think, okay, well, I have to replace something, but I kind of need the Lance to not die to his board.
Mm.
So I end up replacing Tectonic Spikes, and just hoping to be a top deck god.
Well, double spikes helps.
Yeah, double Lance at least goes some way to...
But do you just
answering
double
his board.
spikes the Sendo here?
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. Still personally
So
needs to find 4 damage somewhere. Or 3 damage, yes.
Yeah. No, it's 2. Kaido does 3 and Panda does 3.
Ah, true. Backstab, yes.
So then I draw my first healing of the game. And he only has 1 card, so it's not like... it's not lost.
Yeah, it's very unlikely he's gonna be running too many burn spells in his list. Well, for a Song High, anyway.
But then his I think his final card is Quran? Yep, his final card was Quran, so there's not as... oh, Finality would have done it, and I replace into Raptor, so I commit Honorable Sudoku.
As is just and proper.
Oh yeah, and I replace into Spikes. And then yeah. So that was a bit of a sad game, but the other 2 games I played with that deck were like really one-sided stomps and wouldn't have been very fun to cast. Because I just like got the egg combo for 14 damage. And
yeah, that's that never feels too good when you're facing off the eggs on ladder, especially. So I guess for the next game we could cast it from the other side, or do you wanna?
okay.
Still
Yeah, that's fine.
on your side. Yeah.
No, other side's good.
So okay. Well,
And it's I think it looks like we're like a little behind the Van one.
oh yeah, true. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that one. I think we're a little behind schedule, so maybe just do this one from the Juvi's
Okay.
Disciples set, and then move on to the last.
Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, so it's 2 captains facing off each other. So Stoic Rooster, the captain of Rock and Rocks, and Sibon, the glorious captain of Juvi's Disciples.
Mm-hmm. And I've been... this is the last game of the set, actually. Oh, thank you, Boronian.
Thank you, Boronian, for the raid. And also everybody welcome to the Team Wars Cast 6 week with Sibon on the side. But you were saying,
Uh, yeah. So this Vitruvian deck, I didn't have a lot of faith in it, but it actually went on a tear, and it won the 2 previous games before this. Despite not having the golem package to work with.
yeah, Vitruvian doesn't really have too strong of in faction card draw.
Mm-hmm.
So not having the golem package usually is a pretty tricky proposition.
Yeah, I kind of I went with triple Sojourner and 1 Monolithic Visions, which I sadly didn't get to cast in any of my games with this deck.
That's always very unfortunate.
I had it in hand, and I had like 2 or 3 people on my team telling me to replace it, and I kind of begrudgingly replaced it each time.
I think if you draw it in the opening hand, you're supposed to keep it.
Oh yeah, no, but I was on like 6 mana, and I was like, can I keep it? And they're like, no.
But they don't understand. Stoic Rooster was always the same with me, like, but if I draw it on the first opening, what if I don't have it on 9 mana? Oh, mana
So I
box.
get a pretty unconventional opening, but it's a very good opening.
Well, I think Mana Forcer is pretty good in Vitruvian lists.
Yeah, it's sick.
I remember a lot of those old school Vitruvian lists actually run it, because it makes a lot of Vitruvian cards a lot better.
Like if I knew I would never play against aggro, I'd rather play Mana Forger than Azure Herald in most Vet lists.
I mean, 0 mana first wish is pretty mad. But Stoic seems to be playing a more traditional aggro Vanar here.
Yeah.
And that Chromatic Call kind of hurts on the packs.
Yeah, tragically, he had a clear for my guys. But unperturbed, I march bravely forwards. My team's yelling at me to clear the Hearth Sister, and I'm like, no, I want to play. I want to use the mana tile. I draw Sojourner for the first time in 3 games. And then...
Now I get to play it. Well, you did play a Warbird, so... So how do you feel about packs in Vitruvian?
It is outclassed, typically. But for this, the purposes of this deck, it has 6 synergy with the 2 like main cards of the deck, which are Portal Guardian and Inner Oasis. And it works like too well with those cards to not play, I think.
Are you planning to make a flying Portal Guardians?
I honestly wish that Inner Oasis was astral facing quite a lot of the time, but
Inner Oasis is a technically card draw, so it's
yeah, it's having it cycle itself is makes you not feel as bad for spamming 2 drops and slamming Oasis.
There's the backs hitting the fist.
I have some cowardly golems that just spawn as far away from everything as possible.
I think they're just afraid of you. Without that burning Mark II skin. But still you're playing around Warbird, so in that sense I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, and I wanted to run 2 back, but my dervish stopped me from doing that.
Well, can't blame the poop for all your clockage issues.
So I just go Sojo, and so it doesn't suffer the fate of the last one, I first wish it.
I think it's just gonna get Hailstoned here, I would imagine.
It probably does. I don't think it does. It might do. I think they do something else, though. I'm surprised they replaced the Sworn Avenger. That card's really good against Ved, because it pretty much demands Blood of Air to answer. And it's a 3-drop.
I'm very
So
surprised
I'm
as
surprised.
well.
I just assumed they weren't playing it, or they didn't draw it, but it actually got replaced.
Yeah, I think that was very uncharacteristic. I think Stoic usually wants to play that card.
Which yeah, no, I prefer Hailstone and Sworn Avenger here.
Yeah.
To running away, punching, and I think they play the Mentor?
Yeah, I think this is the problem I see a lot of times with the these Mineralists, that they want to play the Mentor and PPS all the time, but it just feels very slow in this meta.
Yeah, you have to put in the groundwork first, where you like fight for board and kill other stuff, instead of just sit in a corner with your owl and throwing birds at the enemy general.
Which does seem on paper like an excellent idea, to be fair.
Yeah, on paper it's fantastic.
But I think the thing is that if you just play Blood of Fear here, then it's like you don't have a port anymore.
So yeah, I think I just reader it, which doesn't help a whole lot, but my hand wasn't fantastic, and Sandstorm Reader is never a terrible idea.
Which one would you prefer, the Reader or the Blood of Air?
I think probably the Reader in this situation.
I was kind of like feel that the Reader is probably the better card, but I'm not sure.
I mean, it depends on what you're playing against as well. Like, versus Kalios, you want Blood of Air, and not Reader.
Yeah,
versus, oh yeah, he Flame Blood too, which is kind of weird, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going all in the just do damage to the face strategy here.
Which I am at 13 now.
Still kind of seems like an odd strategy to be picking here. And the Sojourner is still alive and drawing cards, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Strike.
Not sure why they put the Flame Blood on that tile, because it just trades into the Hoop Dervish for free.
Hmm. Well, there's the second wish, so Sojourner keeps drawing cards.
Mm-hmm. That's my entire draw engine, so I kind of needed to stick around. And then I think I kind of just win the game on this turn, where I set up a big boy and heal.
Mm. I mean, even if you have the Shroud stall combo here and you could keep drawing Shroud, the Portal Guardian is still pretty hefty
Mm-hmm.
thing to deal with, and it just keeps getting bigger every turn. You don't do anything about it, so.
Yeah, so they kind of have to shroud, but they don't have any they don't have an Alcuin of either description.
There's still the Sojourner with the second wish they cannot deal with here. No, they can trade the Owl into it, but.
Yeah, you can Hailstone the Guardian and then trade Owl with Sojourner.
Or they can Hailstone the Sojo and Shroud and hope for the best. But even if you get the Portal Guardian and the Sojo here out, you're still dealing with 8 damage to the on the board, so it's that's right. I just think if they had actually played the Sworn Avenger, I think this game would have looked a bit different.
Yeah, well, I did have the Sansor Reader for it.
Mm.
But yeah, now I know what the hand was. I don't agree with the line of play they took.
I mean,
And oh
even
man,
if
I
you
have
bounce
another.
into the hand, they can still play it the next turn, which means that you still need to find an answer for it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I misorder here. I play those in the wrong order, so I don't get the tile. But I mean, I'm so far ahead.
Well, sometimes the poop leaves you wondering, waiting.
Pretty confident he doesn't play Sunset Paragon, so.
There's the Senrui emote for the glorious defeat.
Send Rui into concede.
But yeah, that was Jewish Disciples versus Rock and Rocks, and you defeated
That
the
was
monster.
that was the 10th game, so we won that 6-4.
So the Rock and Rocks is not invulnerable to defeat. But I think we are ready to head off for the final match of today.
And set of the day.
Yep. Which is gonna be Erratic Raptors versus that team. And they're both at the 4 wins right now, so getting to the playoffs probably, hopefully.
Oh yeah. Remember not to replay Mr. Mana versus Ryusen,
I think that's
where Ryusen played a banned card and got a game loss.
But so the bans for the Erratic Raptors were Spelljammer, Macantor, Juxtaposition, Sunspell's Reader, And for the schizo,
Wait, did they did they make that GIF? That's amazing.
so how do you spell that name?
I just call them schizophrenia September mania, or like schizophrenia stepmania, or whatever. I don't actually try to pronounce the name.
I think I think that's like one of the best names I've heard thus far. But yeah, they banned Kindling, Scroll Bandit, Prismatic Illusionist, and then they just didn't ban the fourth card.
Yep. So I think this is more kind of mental warfare than an actual ban strategy. I do understand and sympathize with the distaste for Arcanist Chidai, but yeah, that's I think that's more about sending a message than actually banning useful cards.
I heard like their banning strategy, not previous week, but the week before that, was basically they asked somebody else to do the bans for them. So.
Toronto Erratic Raptors, on the other hand, pretty standard bans. I'm not crazy about the Jammer ban, but other than that, it's like standard good stuff.
Yeah. So I think we are ready to head off the first game.
Okay.
So it's gonna be Ponzo Mango facing off 20th Century Boy.
Alright. Two fairly well-known players.
And Ponzo is playing for Toronto Erratic Raptors, and 20th Century Boy is playing for Schizophrenia September Mania.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm seeing pretty interesting cards already. Like Shiro and Diotis in Cassava are not common. Nor is Kron, so I'm kind of interested to see what deck this is.
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
Oh no, this is Abhorrent Unbirth, isn't it?
Is it?
You play a bunch of, because Kron makes tokens with keywords, Diotis makes a token with a keyword. Shiro gives stats. So it's probably Abhorrent Unbirth. Okay, yeah. And Poncho Mango confirms it.
Well, this is gonna be... I wonder if 20th Century Boy is gonna see this coming. Because I believe this is the first match of the series.
Okay.
Well, there's the 0 on the first turn, and it gets a glance over.
Shiro's a good card. If there weren't so many, like, kind of broken 2-drops in the meta, I think Shiro would see a lot of play.
Well, it used to see a lot of play back in the day.
It did.
But yeah, like a lot of those neutral drop, 2-drops have kind of... I mean, even Private Fist doesn't see that much play nowadays.
No, it really doesn't. I preferred the version that gave 1 attack to everything around it. So, okay, this is looking like a Mesolgy style Argean list, where I just attribute this kind of Argean list to Mesolgy. I'm not sure if he was the first to really do it, but you basically play Zoran, but with Argean as your general. And with like a bit less focus on healing.
So it's a bit more in your face kind of list.
Yeah, a slightly more minion focused Sauron.
Well, they have the option to play the Spelljammer or Duelyst here on the tile. Or they can just clean up the Lancer here.
Yeah, you can just go Primus Fistula, which, if I'm not playing any Dispel, which I doubt Abhorrent on Birth has room for Dispel, it might be tempting to just lure it. Rather than deal with an Argian that has 15 attack. And they are just gonna lure it.
Now what they're gonna have
Yeah,
a
I like this play.
3-3 on the board as well, so that's a not bad opening for second play. Also kind of traps the Archon there if he doesn't have a... if he doesn't want to keep the Shiro around.
Yeah, it's nice, because it kind of forces him to stay and hit the Shiro rather than getting a tile. Which might set up for turn a 3 Latigris. Latigris is really important in this deck, because it's your only real way of giving the abhorrent, I forget what it's called, the unspeakable horror, whatever it's called. It's the only way of giving it rush. Unless you also play Tiger, but Tiger's kind of iffy.
Rest in peace, Prushy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the Fortified Assault.
Into, I'd imagine, Silver God, yeah. Old reliable.
It's still kind of crazy that thing is 3-5 and it has Provoke.
Yeah, that's nuts. It was, basically when Lionar was, like, really, really good, we were like, okay, Lionar is always going to be really good, and it's always going to be really good because of Silverguard Knight and Windblade Adept. And is that a problem? And the prevailing opinion was yes, so that's when Windblade Adept lost an attack point.
I think that was fair.
Yeah, like, when your opponent went second and just started 2 Windblade Adepts, it's like, well, I can't do anything. Because whatever I play instantly dies.
And that's cleaning those things with Face Hider. Unless you want.
Yeah, it's like, well, do I want to take 8 damage on turn 2?
Seems
and also
reasonable.
not kill the minions? There was no, oh, that's a good draw. Well, is it? You kind of have to play it. But this is a... Wait, what?
Oh, it's gonna punish it and keep the Shiro around.
Okay, I don't hate that. I would have definitely moved the Shiro to the tile, though, to stop Arjun walking on it.
Or to the right, at least.
Yeah, or to the right and protect the Shiro. Oh, but Mako said he roped, so maybe they didn't have time.
Well, there's the healing tile now for second silver card or something else, but looks like a Sunriser is coming out.
Yeah, I was thinking Scorn, but yeah, Sunriser makes a lot more sense. And just being able to get that early hallowed ground is so huge. Because you can't really do that in this format without Cleric, but...
Mm. And there's the 5/4 spitting out 2 damage everywhere. But then
So
again,
this is the Tigris turn for sure.
yeah. I mean, Poncho doesn't really have to care about the Sunrise right at this
Yeah, he can
instant.
run away. I'm not sure why they're thinking about replacing a jammer when they have to. Okay.
Oh,
So you could 9 moons, but yeah, he just wants to sanitize the board.
So you're gonna take the 5 damage to clean up the Sunrise.
Oh, no. Apparently not.
I prefer running away because that forces Archon off the tile.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, running away to that there works as well. And they're gonna go with 9 moons over the Tigris. Which is fair, because Tigris is like a conditional 4 damage versus a guaranteed 5 from 9 moons.
And you also get a minion. Probably.
Mm-hmm. The Tigris is a pretty balanced card when you don't have buffs in your deck. It's like it's good, but it's not amazing.
It's still a very versatile card. I think people underestimated it when it came out.
For sure. They used it was yes, Argian does count as a buff in your deck. It was a 3/5, and we were like, this is kind of too good. This is kind of it's kind of dumb.
Like destroyed all your 2 drops and some of your 3 and 4 drops, so that would have been pretty awkward.
But we still wanted it to be a good card, so I was like, okay, well, we'll make it a 2/6, and then it's a tiny bit worse. But it's still solid. Flameblood into Blue Conjurer.
Well,
That
something new.
is interesting.
And he put the Sunrises so far away.
Not 2 cards you often see next to each other. So, I feel like hitting the... Well, you can kill the Sunriser with the 9 moons and the Flameblood with your ping. Or you can kill the Conjurer with the 9 moons and the ping, and then kill the Flameblood with a Tigris Cub.
Oh, they replaced the lure. Why?
Yeah, I know about replacing lure. I guess they've kind of deduced that this isn't the type of Lyo deck that will be playing a lot of like Iron Cliffs and Elixirs and the like.
Mm.
But still, lure's such a good card. So they've opted to kill the 9 moons. I mean, sorry, the Conjurer. Get a pretty bad draw. And they just run away, play Oh, digging for Fura Chakram. Oh my god, that would have just won the game instantly. Yeah.
And still Artyom stands proud on the tile.
Hmm.
This is mine.
I was born on this tile, I'll die on this tile.
I finally got a tile. I'll die on the tile.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice the turn before how aggressively 20th Century Boy played into Fura Chakram.
But do you expect Furor Chakram?
I think so. I think if you're playing against 9 Moons, you should expect Fura Chakram.
Well, you've seen Shiro Puppy Dragons and other things, so yeah.
I think, yeah, if you give me a bit of time to think about it, I would, after seeing a Shiro and a Latigrus, I'd think, yeah, this is Abhorrent Unbirth.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, there's the Chakram in hand. Not enough mana to play 2 things.
Well, you could move one back and just pray for a good cup tile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, one thing you have to be kind of aware of is Hyperion's Claim.
True. But I'm not sure if you can play around claim here. Unless you just Chrono here.
You can play around Claim, but it involves walking in range of that thing, which, okay, he's gonna take a proactive step and deal with it now. Hope for a good spawn, doesn't get a good spawn. Doesn't really matter. And presumably replace the Jammer?
Nope.
Wait, just no replace? Just pass? Okay. Interesting.
Didn't even block the healing mystic there, so I'm scared.
Yeah, this is... I guess he's only on 3 cards, but it's still a lot of potential damage.
They did not replace because they have Oath and we don't, so we needed Jammer. I guess that makes sense if you only run Spell Jammer for card draw.
Yeah, you're playing a pretty high curve deck, though, I think. Well, I suppose you can go double 4-drop with Jammer and Duelyst, so that's kind of good. So I wonder if 20th Century Boy is playing Martyrdom at all, and he's just being unlucky and not drawing it. Okay, well that's a pretty good alternative.
I was waiting for the triple Tempest there.
He's down to 2 cards, though.
Well, Poncho is down to 6 health, so there's also that.
Yep.
So he just needs the Saber Spine Alpha.
So the play here just has to be double 4-drop and hit with Latigrus, run away. I would think.
Do you replace the Chakram or do you just...
No, I'd
keep
probably
it?
just keep my hand and double 4-drop to double body block.
this discussion going in the Toronto booth.
You could also go to the tile and play a 4-drop and also a Chakram, but that leaves your Latigris open.
No body blocks.
Okay. Yep, that's fair. I forgot you don't necessarily need to body block because you're one space away. Anyway. So unless he has Elix, he's not hitting you.
And he hasn't moved from that tile yet, so there's also that.
Yeah, he might be stuck.
Yeah, that's 10 damage on the board.
In retrospect, that should have been the effect that tiles had. They should have just not let you move from them if you walked on them. Like Sandtrap.
But what if the poop tiles were like that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That'd have been sick.
That would be pretty unfortunate for most decks, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand on this. Okay, never mind.
Iron Cliff Immo would be pretty solid, except you have a law now, so... Oh, he moves from the tile.
Into Sunriser.
Into sun...
Force Lancer.
Huh? Wait, I don't get it.
I think it's just body blocking here.
Okay. That...
Doesn't really help. No, that's lethal.
But this is lethal, yeah. Yeah, this is mega lethal.
Missed PM. And that's why Furor Chakram is a very good card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first game of the set, so Toronto is
Cool.
already taking off. And we're ready to head off to the next match.
Oh, man.
So this
Oh,
is,
baby.
Mazer versus Non-Werber. Mazer
Oh,
from,
man.
Schizophrenia. Meltdown Mania. And
This is,
Non-Werber.
Did anyone tell Mesa that more than half of his deck has been nerfed since he last played it?
Probably not.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I think I was told that Mazer just plays the old decks and they somehow work. And Brackets just said like, well, they work, so I don't know how, but they work.
I mean, he's a good player, but I think he'd do better with an updated deck.
But we already see a pretty solid Watt opening here with the Metallurgist into Ragebinder.
If you're playing those cards, that's kind of the dream.
But also, why does Ragebinder have Rebirth? That's the one thing that trips me over.
Yeah, I came in like midway through the development of that set, and from what I gathered, the kind of prevailing reasoning was, well, Magmar kind of sucks right now, so we'll just give them really solid tempo cards in Ragebinder and Lava Slasher, and then mid-range Magmar will be like pretty good again. And it sure was.
It's pretty damn good.
So this is a really depressing start from Mesa.
Well, he has 3 Malicious Wisps in hand, so it's gonna stall
He
the game for a
does,
while.
but you kind of have to stop playing them sooner than this.
And there's still the Plasma Storms and our Magma cards are on the table, because they did not get banned. I'm still curious to know why they didn't ban the 4th card.
I'm sure they're just memeing, to be honest.
I'm sure there's a very in-depth reasoning that plays out during the following 3 weeks. And in the last game they're gonna say, this is why we didn't ban 4 cards week 6.
Okay, that's the best answer possible.
Scorns showing up again.
Unsure why they moved the Metallurgist there, where it just kind of dies for free.
Maybe they just want a Mazer to move to the Metallurgist for some reason. So non-Werber can hit with claws.
Oh, that's so sad. That's such a sad cryo.
Oh, they missed the deadline, so that's why they only banned 3 cards.
Oh, okay. Mm. Then yeah, they were just memeing. Oh, it makes me so sad to like see all these, like Cryo, Altered Beast. Presumably he also runs Enfeeble. Sure, it wasn't fun when they were good, but
Well,
I also don't agree with clearing the Metallurgist. I think he should have just ran away. Because letting Varth punch you in the face is rarely smart.
even getting the Ragebinder proc here.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't really spell well for Mazer here.
No. Nah, this one's kind of doomed, I think.
Well, he can aspect the second Ragebinder. But he doesn't
But
really
why?
have any other play.
Paragon is a little better, I think. Nope. Maybe not. Maybe just Snow Chaser Malicious to prevent Warbeast.
And protects the Wisp Row. No? But I'm pretty sure none of everybody's gonna upper hand that Snow Chaser.
Probably not. Deck lists aren't due today, right? We have until tomorrow. I think.
Probably.
Okay. If someone in the chat can confirm that for me.
They are due today.
Wait, seriously?
Poncho is saying that they are due today.
Oh. Oh no.
In 7 hours.
They are due to date. Riv, I don't believe you. Wait, no one on my team has made a deck, except Icy. Oh well, I guess I would have to make 5 decks after this. After I'm finished doing this, then.
Well, we need to finish up soon then. But isn't Riff in your team?
Yes. I don't trust him to make a deck.
I was just gonna ask him why he's watching this stream and not making decks.
I'm really glad I asked then, because I was probably just going to go to bed after this if I didn't. Was that better than Bone Reaper?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was.
I'm not sure why it didn't just move one up and...
Move one up, Bone Reaper. The Slasher was on 2, right? Was it on 3? It was on 3 then, fair enough.
I think it was on 3. They slash out the Wisp.
Oh, okay, it was on 3 then. That makes sense. Yeah, I know it was on, I know it makes X, but you just punch the Rage Binder.
Well, there's the McEnroe coming to Mazer's face. And this game looks kinda over.
Yep. Oh, they thought they had lethal. But, I mean, they may as well have lethal. They have emotional lethal.
Well, I can tell you that it's very hard to count to 2 in this game.
It is. The BM oops as well. I'm also curious as to why they played Varth instead of, like, a better general, but...
What has been very popular this season?
Really?
Yeah. I don't really see Ragnar too much. Not even Starhorn.
That is surprising.
There's the Spoopy Bone Reaper.
I'm expecting a natural selection into a well played. Oh, no, it has to be Plasma into well played now. Or just second War Beast.
Beast is always in the right place.
Oh, that was a sad game.
That was a sad.
Whoever suggested that game, you're a... is it a sadist or a masochist? You're one that enjoys hurting other people.
Unfortunately, I did not get any recommendations for that match, but
Oh, okay.
it's the luck of
You
the
just
draw.
shoot in the dark.
Yeah. But to save the sanity of your teammates, to send me game recommendations from each set, so... Oh, actually, let's do it this way.
Kozvid always has the most interesting decks.
I think this also. Let me check here real quick. Yeah, I think this is the correct one. Yep. Alright, so we
And
have
this is no exception.
Kossuth playing Starhorn, and Non-Verber is playing Sibon, and Kossuth is representing the Schizoid sometimes, and Non-Verber is on the Heraldic Raptors once again. So what do you make of this Magmar list?
Oh, okay, Kozvid is on SS, and now Verba is on Erratic Raptors. I mean, Toronto Raptors.
Did I say it the other way around?
Apparently.
Okay.
I don't mind this style of Starhorn deck. It's very matchup dependent, where some things you like win for free. Like I think you beat Lion R for free pretty much, but then you're gonna lose a lot of games to random crap that just had an answer to your degeneracy. So I'm expecting a Flash Vision R here.
Non-Verber seems to be playing the probably some kind of mid-range Sibon.
Oh yeah, this deck would beat up on Varth as well.
Long discussion on the flash play here.
I just like watching Starhorn's tail kind of wiggle while he's deciding what he wants to do. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good opening. I think pretty much the only reason to play Varth is if you know you're going to be playing against Zoran or Kalios. Because Varth does better than the other two generals against specifically Zoran and Kalios, but outside of that, I don't think there's a real reason to play Varth.
I think I've seen a lot of solo Varth attempts, and I think they've been doing alright. But Magmar hasn't really been doing too well in this season.
It has not.
So maybe people have the wrong idea right now.
I think if people are banning Plasma Storm and playing Varth, they definitely do have the wrong idea.
Non-Verber is kind of tricky position with the Metallosis here now with the Visionar out.
Is this a Sworn Avenger?
Windstriker.
Oh, Windstriker. Spicy.
I wonder if it's gonna be some kind of column list.
Doesn't move at all. I'd imagine he has a Sirocco in there. If he's playing Windstriker as well.
I think Windstriker is a pretty good card on its own, if you're playing columns. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's too tempting to not play the synergy a lot of the time. Like, you have the full Golem package and you have Windstriker. It seems kind of criminal not to chuck in a couple of Sirocco.
Yeah, but the Sirocco, like the payoff, just doesn't feel too good when Plasma Storm is a thing.
So, Cosvid cannot stop Non-Verba from ramping to 5 next turn. So all 3 tiles are still up. He can only get 2 of them. And... oh, now he can. Because he plays... well, he can, but it's kind of ugly. Yeah, Slash is better. And then you just kind of accept the Sandswar Reader.
Or the Blood
Or the
Affair.
Blood Affair. Yeah, either one is fine.
I think if Non-Verba is gonna Blood Affair here, it's not gonna be... I'm not sure if Ghostwit is gonna be very upset about that.
I mean, he has an amazing hand for proactivity and a pretty terrible hand for reacting to threats, so if now Verba just removes his stuff, then he's happy.
Hard to believe the minion with cannon hands has less attack at the puny column. That was
Oh
Mr.
yeah,
Minar's mistake.
that does have cannon hands.
I thought that was just the jetpacks to hover and look menacing.
I kind of assumed it flew by, like, using the tornado swirling around its lower column thing. Adjudicator.
Well, that's spicy.
Okay. I played against a Sifron playing Adjudicator on ladder, but I don't think it was this.
I think that the idea with the Adjudicator is that you get the visions out faster, usually.
Yeah, and, you know, lowering the cost of Blood of Air doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
So,
He also played
Starhorn...
the Golem pretty safely in the corner, so...
yeah. Starhorn has a lot of stats, but nowhere to put them.
Well, I think if you just keep putting stats on the board, the Sifron will have to give in at some point.
Until he
Yes, you do
plays
run.
Dragon Lark and the other card, and just flies to the other corner.
You mean the Neurotic Link?
Neuralink, yeah.
Yes. That would be amazing. I want to explain those. That would be even more amazing. No, unfortunately.
So I feel like you just replace the Hara specs at this point.
That seems to
Yep.
be the play.
And, yep. Flash and Plasma Storm.
The Plasma Storm is gonna be handy if he's actually playing Sirocco.
Yes.
But on the other hand, with those big guys on the board, I'm not sure if he's gonna have the time to play Sirocco this game.
That's, well, if he has Blood of Air, he clears the 2 things at the bottom of the board for free. And if he has Sandswell, he also does, but he has to sacrifice his flying dude.
Mm.
And there's no way he doesn't have, like, one of them with 6 cards in hand.
Well, looks like that's not gonna be the plan here. Still running away.
Right, you are. Oh, interesting.
What?
So we've got golems, we've got adjudicator, we've got artifacts, and it's in Sifron.
Well, some people say that Sibon is just worse Sarge. Well, okay, nobody says that, but
Yeah, nobody's ever said that.
probably Raptors said that.
So, the flying golem makes another journey to a different corner of the board.
I mean, it's true that it doesn't actually do anything to any of the minions right now, but still interesting. We're playing Amazing Race with our columns. Did you ever play in the Amazing Race events?
I did not know. The lowest value Plasma Storm in a while. I guess it's not too bad. It gets rid of the flyer, but
So no Neuralink shenanigans.
the stat sticks are closing in.
Answer board or die. But he has 6 mana Dominate Will here.
Oh, Aurora Tears. Oh, no triple. Oh, Time Maelstrom. Wait,
No way.
bruh. Okay, that was amazing. I mean, I'd have been pretty angry if I were in Starhorn's position there, but that was pretty hilarious.
I have to say that was probably the best Vitruvian Lethal I've seen this season. I mean, I never would have thought to play the old school combo Sarge in Sibon, but
Oh man, that's funny.
yeah. Okay. I think this looks the.
Okay, more Sifron against the one of the other three factions that would allow this kind of shenanigans to happen. Actually, Vanar probably would as well, if you're not Fey.
Oh yeah, yeah. I transition screen. Yes, I'm awake.
So, we are watching from Mr. Mana's perspective now, against Cosvid, so this is not the same Vitruvian list.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So we have a Celebrant, turn 1. You can tell by the way they don't know where to put it. Because everyone yells at each other when turn 1 Celebrant happens. At least on my team.
Put it in front of you. No, in safe position. No.
Yep.
Do you have any preferred Celebrant positioning?
Well, and it really depends on what I'm playing against, but typically just next to whatever mana tile I'm already threatening. So like above the Celebrant in this case.
not in front, above your or below your general.
Well, if I'm trying to ramp to 5, then yeah, below my general.
Well, Mr. Mana gets the double opening here with the Mystic into Lion.
Pretty solid. Oh, this guy has a pretty good offer in chat. If we want to become famous, we can buy followers, primes, and viewers on followonbot.com. Ah, damn it, someone deleted the link before I could click on it. No.
Well, this is the first time in the history of this stream that there was 2 tempting offers to be views. I mean, we have to keep the more innocent and susceptible viewers in check, in case they start clicking links.
Yeah, but we can get real viewers for only $4.1 an hour.
Well, to be fair, that doesn't seem too bad. How many viewers?
Allegedly 100.
That seems sketchy.
Yeah.
100 viewers watching a Duelyst stream. Oh, 5th Canopy comes down.
Ooh. So yeah, I was so focused on my newfound fame that I forgot we were casting Duelyst. So, oh wait, this is the freest Latigris clear of 2020.
Yeah, unfortunately. Because it isn't.
And
really
you don't even have to be scared of it being stolen, because it's too early in the day for that.
Cosmic isn't really giving Mr. Mana too much respect here. Playing the Canopy so aggressively.
Yeah, like, if he just played it in the middle, then there wasn't an easy way to clear.
And there's the Tigris.
Yeah, solid. Obviously, they would have preferred the positioning one below that, but then there was the small chance of a bad spawn.
Mm. And Mr. Mana apparently got yelled at for this position.
Oh wait, no, yeah, he could have ran to the middle of the board and played the Latigris in the better place, I think.
Yeah.
And not left it open to attack. Yeah, Archean could have been in the middle.
Yeah.
And then blocked Latigris from being punched.
Yeah. Tigris is a pretty hard card to position.
Yeah, it takes some thinking about.
All the gap spawns and things that you normally have to think about. There's the first Dream Shaper of today.
Oh yeah, because the Golem package wasn't banned, because instead they banned 3 Arcanists. And oh, that was his whole turn. That's rough.
But sometimes if you're playing Sibon, that's just what happens. I mean, that's kind of the tricky part I found with Sibon is that if you pack in too much of those reactive cards, you will just have no play.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, I thought yeah, I forgot the Augean team didn't do the troll bans, and the vet team did.
I'm sure they had like a completely valid reasons to ban Scroll Bandit.
Yeah, it's scroll banded. You have to ban it.
And it's a 1/3 for 2 mana.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is the play I was thinking about.
Pretty clean.
Bad spawn, but
yeah.
otherwise, everything went well.
I'm surprised they put the cups so far away, but
Yeah, I'd have just moved it a bit more aggressively, I guess. Wait, why does Cosvid have 7 mana?
why does Cosvid have 7 mana?
That's probably a replay bug.
But they didn't play a reader yet.
He should have 5, but he simply does not.
Did they play a reader? No, they couldn't play a reader.
No, reader was banned, apparently.
Yeah. And now he still had well, there's the Rift Follower. Everything's alright in the world again, I think.
Okay.
No, it's not, but we pretend it is.
So that's a Rift Walker, Void Chaser. I forget the name, but he's here.
I've noticed that Referral puts Rift Follower in nearly every single deck he plays nowadays.
I mean, I kind of get it. I do love the card. It's just not a very good card.
I want to love the card, but it just doesn't let me.
Yeah, there's a... It should have had more stats, to be honest.
I think if it was like a 4/3, it would be already pretty insane.
And I think it'd be insane, but it'll be played.
Well, that's the first Rift Follower going to the back to the Rift. That no longer exists. And Mr. Mana is just chucking spears away at the Cosvid.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for Cosvid, but he does have 8 mana now, so let's see what he can do with that.
Well, he could cast Monolithic Visions soon. Next turn. Well, he could do the Rift Walker into Orb Rider and run away.
He could.
Doesn't look like that's gonna be the play. Oh, Psychic Conduit.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Then he gets the cub. Unfortunately, can't attack the Latigris with the cub, but he does steal the tile.
and he gets rid of the Tigress.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot it hadn't attacked yet. Okay, that's pretty good.
That was a very, very nice play.
Hmm.
Psychic Conduit should be played more.
I don't know. We did lose a set to it, admittedly, in Team Wars, but it's pretty damn situational.
But if you put it in every deck, then you will find a situation to play it in. And it will be amazing.
True.
Well, Mr. Mana doesn't really seem to have a strong play here either. Just cards to deal with the board, but there is no board to deal with, so...
Yeah, this is just an immo turn, I suppose.
Looks like he just wants to congregation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. And then
Bodies.
get an immo with a lethal with immo next turn. That makes sense.
But Cosmith does have the mana for Monolithic Visions.
Yep,
apparently.
that's true.
So he could maybe take the Star's Fury into Fireplace. Which will be lethal. Or pretty close. No, that will be lethal. Oh, there's the EMP. That was
Okay. That's a
clutch.
pretty damn good answer, yeah. What can Mr. Mana do here? Replace Lightbender, I think, first and foremost. Oh, I actually didn't see that he still had Arclight Sentinel. It blended in with the background too well.
Camouflage.
Oh, that's just lethal, isn't it?
Yeah. That's unfortunately lethal.
Yep.
I can even cast the Blood Tier to finish it off.
Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, I actually didn't see Arclight Sentinel at all.
Well, yeah, that was the last game of that series, and
Well,
Toronto
that was a journey.
Yeah. Toronto takes off the one of the big guys of this.
And that ended 6-3 in Toronto Raptors' favor, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So this week there were a lot of good sets.
Mm-hmm. Well, one less than usual, but
But yeah, so that was the Team Wars cast week 6, yes. And yeah, thanks a lot to Sibon for coming and
that's no
casting.
problem.
It's,
It was fun. My throat really hurts now, but it was fun.